Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It is roughly the 7th circle of hell in my basement right now. I swear to God, I feel like I'm going to spontaneously combust. Switch gears. This is DC Dual Force. Now, I already did the tutorial. I'll explain how the game works as we go through. And I already did one of the comics, which is like the single player criteria. I may redo it offline so that way people can see it. Ooh, that's a good one, Random. That's a good one. That's a good poll. Like, real good. But, this is the closed beta. It's going to be followed at some point by open beta. As I understand it, and don't quote me on this, there's going to be a collection wipe. So they gave us a bunch of stuff to start out with the assumption that we're not going to be keeping it. So we have 35 packs technically to get through. We have 33 base packs and then 2 mini sets. We'll start with those with Green Arrow. So the idea here is that these mini packs seem to be one of the paid for things. You're guaranteed to get all of the things that are in the pack, and you can see it in the store. Right now, you can't buy anything, though. That was mentioned that is not activated yet. So we get Green Arrow himself, Oliver Queen here. This is one of the leaders or heroes, generals, champions, whatever you want to refer to it as. And then this is their power. So every 2 turns... because each turn you'll build up a counter. When he has 2 counters, you can Seek, which is this game's version of Discover for you Hearthstone players, or I can't think of what Draft in Spell Slingers, and I can't think of what it is in Cards and Castles, or even Mythgard or any of the other ones right now, but Discover. So you get a bronze, a silver, or a gold. Those are the resource types. There's also another one that's black that's just like free. And you get a trick arrow, whatever that is. So then we get all of these other characters. Got some, I don't know what ambush is. It's character KOs, character attack. Ooh, that's pretty cool. So it has first strike, basically. Your actions deal lethal damage. This seems pretty good. Oh, it's highlighting by rarity. I was trying to figure out why these 3 were getting lit up. But it's not doing it. I don't understand why these 3 are getting lit up. So this could be interesting because of this. I really want to play Harley, but Harley's ability is more of a passive one. So she has an ability to buff her attack temporarily. But her main thing is that at the end of your turn, if you have no cards in hand, you draw a card. And of course, you draw a card for your turn. So the idea is that you spam the board and then reload. But what I've found so far playing with the starters is that you don't really empty your hand very easily. So we'll see. I kind of want to play Aquaman as well, which sounds insane, but in the comic book, you get to play Aquaman a little bit, and it's actually, like, he has some cool powers, because I'm just dropping sharks. So we get Shazam, who I know almost nothing about. Gets +5 attack and create 5 lightning bolts in your deck. It does not show what lightning bolts are. Oh, here we go. So this is free when it has this symbol like this. Deal 2 damage to an enemy and draw a card. That's actually pretty good. But it goes in the deck, so that's kind of annoying. I don't know what hidden is. Can't be the target of enemy attacks, actions, or ability, and doesn't protect other characters. Alright, so Space Slug here protects people. Why is Space Slug, like, drowning? I assume this is Shazam here? Is this a bad guy? This looks like a cracked out version of the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland. Anybody else think that? Also, by the way, if you hear some noise in the background, it's because I have a small air conditioner running, because otherwise I probably would melt into goo. Sorry. Hopefully you can't hear it. Mr. Mind is a bad guy? Okay, I mean, judging by the fact that he's, like, drowning, again, what I assume is Shazam in acid or something. I know nothing about Shazam. Like, at all. So I don't recognize, I don't know what any of these characters are. I mentioned it before, I'm not a big comic book person. So this is all going to be brand new to me. This is all going to be new. Alright, so we get a little Brainiac action. Is Brainiac a leader right now? This is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. This is also very interesting. Brainiac is not a leader right now. Okay. This is interesting. I mean, it's a gold card, and it presumes that you have a board, but I could easily see this potentially. Well, this is friendly character, so this means that it's going to give it, or it should give it to your leader as well. So if you have 2 leaders, and then say 2 other bodies, +8/+8, hypothetically. And it also gives it to itself. The thing is, oh no, never mind. This is Aura. This is Aura, not Shield. I was thinking this was Shield. Aura's still good, but less exciting. Is Brainiac actually considered good? Like, do people care about Brainiac? Like, I actually know who Brainiac is, but only through Injustice. Who is this guy? The first time Flex Mentallo's attack increases on your turn, create a bronze action in your hand? Alright, this seems playable. A lot of people like Brainiac? Okay. I mean, when I ask those sort of questions, I'm not like, who likes Brainiac? It's more like, and I was moving the mic there. It's more like, I don't know who the hell any of these people are. I do know who this guy is. And we see him in the tutorial. I don't know if he's a leader yet, but I'm excited for Solomon Grundy. You know me in the Undead chat. You know the deal. This is kind of cool. It's interesting that Talia heals. Talia, so I'll tell you a quick story. Back when Verse 1.0 was a game, Talia was one of my favorite characters in that card game. I'm pretty sure it was Talia. Now that I'm saying that, it might have been Shiva. Was it? One of them was a League of Assassins character. It was just like, it allowed you to one-shot just about anything, which I thought was really fun at the time. But even though I don't know if it was actually good. Flex is an old Doom Patrol guy, and the fact they're even hinting at Doom Patrols is kind of exciting. Alright, alright. Otona, you're going to have to fill me in on all this stuff. Kind of like when we had people when I was playing Gwent, and ooh. Parasite. Get 1 damage to 2 random enemy accrues. Gets. Can it do 2 damage to 1 guy? Like, say they only have 1 guy. Can I kill a 2 health guy and become a 4/4? This is a leader pack? Oh, you can't? That kind of sucks. I mean, this isn't bad, right? Well, it might be bad. A silver play. This is... So, for anybody who's curious, the way the resources work is, as mentioned, there are 3. Technically 4, but the 4th one that's black is free. So this is silver. You can see this is gold. As you'd imagine, it goes bronze, silver, gold. So you go... Start with 1 bronze, then you have 2 bronze, then it goes silver, bronze, then silver, silver, then gold, silver, I think. I'm pretty sure that's the sequence. Point is that you're building up to better resources over a period of time. So if you compare, and you only get 2 plays a turn. Yes, but you never get gold, gold. Correct. Yes, I didn't say that. That's accurate. You'll never get gold, gold unless something gives it to you. And there are things that will refill your resources, like the Green Lanterns are... There's a number of effects that either generate more resources or key off of burning it, so you can see the synergy there. But anyway. So if you compare it to a regular card game that has a more traditional mana curve, I'm curious where these would lie. Because, like I said, you typically... In this game, you only have 2 plays per turn. They are gated by the strength. So it's kind of like if you picture it's a 1 cost, a 2 cost, or a 3 cost. Bronze, silver, gold. So that makes this guy like a 3 cost, sort of. I know we're stretching definitions here. So is a 3 cost that deals 2 randomly and then grows a little bit worth it? I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, so this is, from what Atone is saying in chat, this is a leader pack, so why can't I click on this? Oh, because it adds the pack here. Okay, that's weird. It would be nice if I could just click to it, but whatever. Let's see what we get. Zatanna, nice. Alright, alright. I'm hoping for some Constantine, but I'll take Zatanna for now. I don't think Constantine's in this set, in the Origin set, but we'll see. Choose 1 of 3 different spells created and put into your hand unless specified otherwise. So we get 2 packs out of this. We get Imbued with Lightning. After a friendly character attacks this turn, create 2 lightning bolts. We saw what lightning bolts are. Flurry. Earthquake. All right, fair enough. Constantine is a recruit, but not a leader. Fair. I don't know how much we're going to get to play, chat, before I have to switch gears, but we're going to at least open the packs. Swamp Thing. It's always fun to me when Swamp Thing shows up. Shout out to people who've been watching the Harley Quinn show. It's actually awesome. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Swamp Thing makes an appearance there. He's pretty funny. +2/+2 for every enemy recruit. So hypothetically, he gets +8/+8. Is a 10/13 good in that case? I feel like the guard is more important. Like, it'll be reasonably sized. It'll be pretty sizable, but not huge. I don't know. We'll see. This is interesting. This firepower +1. Your cards and abilities deal non-additional attack damage equal to your total firepower. That's a really awkward way to say that your spells do extra damage. Unless this is saying that, like... I mean, I get why they want to clarify that you're not doing extra attack damage, but... Mara. Up, and away. Wait, what? Give you recruits... Oh, recruits with shield. I thought... My brain went to give them shield for a second. I'm like, what? Spells and abilities that deal non-attack? Yes, that's exactly what I picture. It just feels like it's worded awkwardly. I was having this discussion for a different game, like literally 10 minutes ago, about awkward wording. It's way worse in the other game. Like, it's atrocious. It's actually embarrassing in the other game, but it's not what we're talking about. First time you deploy a recruit with 5 more attack, each turn, summon a tidal wave. What the hell's a tidal wave? There we go. I was looking for the arrow. Okay, this is kind of what I expected. So every time you summon a 5-power guy, you get another 5-power guy that can attack immediately. Trickster. After you discard a card, deal 3 damage to a random enemy leader. Alright, so I imagine this is going to be in the Harley Quinn deck. Black Manta, deal 5 damage. Okay, yeah. Harley, there was, I forget which guy it was in the tutorial or the campaign that felt like it was super aggro also, and I could definitely see it. Maybe it was Flash, or maybe, I forget who it was. But yeah, the direct damage could be a big deal. Supergirl, deploy, give another friendly recruit with shield. This is going to be awkward, because, like, you have to rely on your opponent not interacting with these things. But on the other hand, they're going to not want to, because shield does exactly what you'd expect for anybody who's unsure the next time they would take damage to prevent it. But your opponent, and they would, so if you run into it, they counterattack but take no damage. So your opponent's going to want to pop the shields, but is going to have a hard time doing it. And I guess the Superman / Supergirl builds, the Kryptonian builds, will be very snowball-y. Maybe. These are just thoughts of playing, like, the tutorial and nothing else. Hey. I was going to say it's a mass capsize, but there was another card that did this, and I don't remember what it was called. Mass arrests. I didn't realize the gadgets that you can get off Batman were going to be actual cards you could get in packs. Like, I knew there were gadgets, but this is one that you can literally get off the Batman hero power. This guy seems like he's going to be pretty useful. Probably won't stick around long today waiting on... Alright, that's fair, Tona. Using out as first appearance so you can nerd out about the comics despite no possible relevance to the game. It is... I think it's actually a cool... like, it's flavor text. Is it really significantly different than if, you know, if you think about Hearthstone or any other game where they have flavor text and it's just like a funny saying? This is the same sort of thing, but it's tied more directly. I kind of appreciate it because then so me as the lay person will say, doesn't know anything about anything. And I'm like, that character looks cool and they're fun. I want to go find out more about them. This directs me immediately to, okay, well, I can go Google Booster Gold #1. I mean, realistically, I would just Google the character name, but some of them are going to be super generic for some of these things. You know what I mean? Like some of the bad guys, I'm sure it's not going to work if I Google it. I mean, maybe it will. I don't know. Like Captain Cold, who I only know of because of Injustice. I don't know what exhausting is. This is kind of cool. Tutor effect. But yeah, I do appreciate the little touches kind of things, like the first... This was funny in the tutorial because it shows up in the tutorial and in my head I'm like, oh, so you want me to beat up old people? Is that what you're encouraging right now, game? You want me to go punch Ma and Pa Kent? Because I don't think that's going to end well for me. I don't think that ends well for anyone who does that. Ooh, a little Poison Ivy action. Speaking of the Harley show. Alright, I haven't seen this sort of effect in a game in a while. Like, I really haven't. It's been a while, but they do exist in other games. Typically, they're not very good because the effort you have to expend to get it to connect is generally very difficult. However, this game, because there's 2 leaders and you don't die until both of them go, I could see it being easier hypothetically because you only have to really clear the one blocker in front, and you'll see when we get to the board. But I think the bar is lower to get Poison Ivy to connect in DC Dual Force than it is in other games. But we'll see. This is kind of cool. Anything where it's take damage, because this is your health. Anything where it's take damage, create cards, draw cards, tutor cards, I'm interested in. I'm sure there's going to be stuff that keys off of every time you take damage or lose health as well. Reverse Flash and a hero pack. Punch. I have no idea who this is. I assume it's a Joker goon. Alright, so I'll have to keep in mind Joker, like, burn. I don't know what the Joker's powers are. This is actually kind of cool as a top-end finisher. Because Flurry obviously attacked twice, so 10 damage, and it has speed, so you can catch your opponent unawares. It's like, just clear out a path, smack for 10. Anytime you're at 10 health or lower against a yellow leader, you could risk just being dead to Reverse Flash. I remember Harley Quinn from the animated series. The one in, like, that was her original appearance, wasn't it? Batman that was the one where she has her classic costume, right? Or am I mixing up Batman cartoons? Honestly, like, I know of that show and I've watched some of it. I am correct, okay. I know some of it, but, like, I've watched more modern DC cartoons, like the ones that have come out on movies, and by more, I mean, like, 3, compared to what I watched as a kid. KO or recruit, if they were friendly, sacrifice them to draw 2 cards and charge Lex Luthor twice. This is pretty cool. This is kind of cool. Huh. That's interesting. I'll be honest, I can't quite tell what this symbol is. I think this is silver, not black. So Punchline is not that character. However, she fills a fairly similar role in current comics. She used to hang out with Harley, had a fallout with Harley, joined up with Joker, and is now this sort of weird girl underling. Interesting. How modern is Punchline? Because there's another one that they referenced in earlier parts of the game so far, where it's Punchline and there was a dude. Or no, maybe I'm thinking of something else. There were 2 clowns. It was a female clown and a male clown. And I think the male was just literally named Punch. Which is exactly the kind of thing where, like, okay, I can't Google that name. I guess I could Google, like, Punch DC Comics, but I'll probably get a bunch of, like, pow and zap effects. Renee Montoya. I have no idea. Like, who is this? Gotham PD? Amethyst? I have no idea who these characters are. I think it said first appearance was 2020. That would make sense. I was only asking because, like, obviously I was well past the pack at that point. Ooh. Jailbreak. Summon 2 gold Arkham inmates from the top half of your... Okay. This is kind of cool. I think it's 40 card decks, so I like this idea, but without a way to stack your deck, because in my mind, it's like only play like 4 gold Arkham inmates so that you have a good idea of what you're going to get. And obviously they all have to be good. Montoya, I know from Batman related shows or comics. Okay, she kind of looked like a police officer, so that's why I was assuming GCPD, but Enchantress obviously giving firepower. Shocker there. All right, let's see what hero we get. Leader. Aquaman! Okay, so chat. Aquaman is a colossal joke, right? But my wife loves Aquaman because of, well, she loves the ocean. She also loves Jason Momoa. But, you know, what are you going to do? There's only so much I can do as a mere mortal. But this Aquaman actually looked really fun in the brief playthrough that I had in the tutorial because of his hero power. So it's like, I'm not going to spoil much of it, but it's like the only things I summoned were sharks and giant monster fish. Aquaman's the one leader I didn't get for my packs, and I actually think he's one of the best leaders. He seems really good. Because the summon, here's the other thing about it. It says summon a sea creature. It's not put it in your hand. It's not shuffle it into your deck. It's put it directly into play. And the ability stacks. So each time you use this, and there are, as we saw, like the Wonder Woman guy, Steve whatever, who I keep wanting to call Steve Rogers, even though I know that's not right. He charges your hero, or a leader. And there's obviously other effects that can do it. So you could potentially just spam the crap out of Aquaman and then start Sharknadoing the hell out of your opponent. Personally, I think that's hilarious. I don't know how crafting works in this game either. Free dudes create so much tempo and it scales. It's scaling free cards. Don't use your resource, so your plays are... Exactly. There are so many things to like about Aquaman, which is such a weird thing. Now, the Supergirl, Killer Frost, who I know of. Was she in Injustice? I think she was. Oh, Hunter. I had a brain fart on what the... You gotta love some Kite Man, chat. Gotta love some Kite Man. Oh, so there will be crafting. I don't... Who is Silas Stone? Help me out, chat. Yeah, Kite... Look, I have to know... Was Kite Man not going to be in the game, and then Harley Show came out, and then that guy showed up? Because love me some Kite Man. He actually, like, legitimately, this might be a playable card. It's free. Yes, it can only attack leaders, but it has Hunter, which means that you can get around blockers. And at 3 attack power, you're doing a decent chunk of damage. Like, this seems like a good aggro creature. Recruit. Man-Bat. This is interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it definitely feels like it should have a home somewhere, but this is going to be weird. Silas Stone is a science man. He's Vic's dad. Oh, Cyborg's dad? Okay, okay. I did, so Cyborg does specifically say his name in the tutorial. That's the reason I knew. Otherwise, no, I wouldn't have known. Although, I guess I've heard it before. Like, they probably called him Victor in Injustice, right? Let's put it this way, if it's not mentioned in Injustice, or more recently, the Harley Quinn show, and it's not directly Batman related, just because Batman is the premier DC hero for the most part in the modern era, I think. Yeah, Superman's up there, but realistically, for modern pop culture, I think Batman far outstrips everything, right? If it's not one of those, I probably don't know it. Or I would have only referenced it from a verse TCG kind of thing. Like, I can recognize it, but I don't know it. I literally only recognize Silas Stone and Flex Mentalo from the Doom Patrol show on Max. Fair enough. Is that still on there? That show? I swear to God, I thought this was a recruit for a second. I'm like, did they really have a bad guy named Whack-A-Man? It's a fantastic show. If it's still on there, I'll check it out. I think I have a Max subscription. I don't know. I mean, I would have needed it for Harley, but... See, like, this character, I have no idea who they are, but at least it's like, oh, they're a Green Lantern. If it's just, like, a normal name, okay, you're probably important to the story, but I have no idea who you are without having read it. Oh, this is the one I was talking about earlier, Punch and Julie. Which, notably, it does not... The reason I clicked off is because it's not showing this arrow the first time. I don't know if that's a bug or what. But we have Julie, and we have Punch. Who really, at least Punch reminds me of the purple dragons from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Just because he has this seemingly enormous chest tattoo. Kilowog. See, like, this is another one. I don't know who the hell Kilowog is, other than they're a lantern. Shoot randomly. I don't know about that one. This seems bad, right? There has to be some combo build with this, because this seems terrible. Bluebird is actually kind of broken. She seemed really good in the tutorial. I mean, the thing is all the gadgets, as far as I know, are free. And then you can upgrade them with, God, what the hell's his name? I had it. It's like on the tip of my tongue. I had it, and then it just slipped out of my brain. The guy who works for Bruce Wayne. All the gadgets are free, and they're all relevant. Yeah, even the stupid heal one is relevant. Here are the gadgets. Like, this, I know when you upgrade, it becomes 4. Oh, Lucius Fox. It just came to me. I think it's him. He upgrades all the gadgets, and it's... The only one that I've seen so far is this goes to 4 damage, and it's like, okay, that's really significant now. This seems pretty good. Ah, see it? They said the name! It's like when they're in the movie, and they say the name of the movie. Gun is probably the worst of the gadget and even manages to be relevant sometimes. I mean, they all have utility. Get it? Utility belt? Got him. This guy's in the comic. I played it, but I won the game. I should have stalled out just because I don't know what seeking a divine weapon means. Well, I mean, obviously we see what it is, but like I don't know what the options are. And it doesn't seem to want to show us. There was another character in that pack I meant to ask about, and then I accidentally clicked too quickly. The 3 weapons, double attack, +1 attack, and generate a gold each turn, and double defense. So are they just spells? Or do they, like, attach to a specific thing? So, like, double attack presumably only goes on recruits. +1 attack and generate a gold each turn could hypothetically go on a leader, but I don't know. And double defense is, like, double health. So, in that case, presumably it can't go on a leader. Not spells, actions. Well, yes. Yes. That looks like a Constantine. Who the hell are these guys? You can't play them on leaders? That's fair. Otherwise, the middle one would always be best, right? Maybe not always, but... Give your other Arkham inmates +1. Fair, but like, who... so they're just random Batman goons? The bat signal! Alright, what does exhaust mean? I don't think that keyword came up before. Is it just they can't attack, and if they attacked, you can't exhaust them? Makes them not ready on their next turn. Okay, so, but you could do it this turn. So, like, if you're untapped this turn, untapped, like, you didn't attack or anything yet, you could exhaust them and then still attack this turn, or choose to not exhaust them, or choose to not attack. Like, do they... If you don't attack this turn, would you be able to attack next turn? You tap them and they... Oh, so it actually taps them as part of the action. I think exhausted leaders can still use their powers, which is goofy. For some of them, that's relevant, and some of them, it's not. Because, like, Harley, her main thing is she gets +3 attack, and it's like, well, if I can't attack, then it doesn't matter. The Mark of Cain. Appetite for Conquest. Is Gorilla Grodd a... Is he drinking a brain right now? Like, what? What? Do I want to know what's in his hand? What? Rod is not a leader, but he's a rather terrible recruit. I saw that, yeah, he's just like a generic body, right? Which Grodd is one of the cooler characters, because I know nothing about Gorilla Grodd, other than he was in Injustice, and I'm like, Gorilla Grodd is cool. But, womp womp. Give enemy recruits everywhere, -1/-1, give your recruits everywhere. This actually seems potentially impactful. Then it could be one of those cards that looks like it's going to have, oh, this is going to be so awesome, and then it just turns out it doesn't do enough. But the fact that it's everywhere, hand, deck, in play, seems good. Who the hell is this guy? See, like, this is what I'm talking about. This is apparently a Superman bad guy. You can see Superman in the background, but, like, there's no indication of what he's from other than that, so... Mr. Miracle? No idea who you are or who that is in the background or why they're kaiju fighting in this city. This feels like it actually might be a decent removal. And it's just going to be super annoying. Although, since it says loses all attack, it doesn't seem to... It's not like loses all attack and it's 0 forever. I'm curious as to whether this would allow you to buff it again afterwards. Alright, well, this clearly goes in the Zatanna deck, right? The thing is with the gold ones is I'm curious... This is a card advantage engine, right? But I don't know how long the game lasts after you hit gold, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's turn 5 that you get your first gold, I think. So if that's true, does the game last turn 8, turn 12, turn 20, or does it end on turn 4 and you're never getting any value out of these things? Also, this guy, like, yeah, Green Lantern, but it's funny. Turn 7, 8 a lot of times. So you're only likely to get probably 2 uses out of that thing is what I'd expect, right? Like, I don't think you're getting too much more of that. Metamorpho. I assume this is a Superman bad guy. I have no idea. So this seems pretty good. This seems... Well, I take it back. There's 2 things that I'm unsure of right now. One, adrenaline. I just don't know how easy it's going to be to achieve. And then obviously, like, if you had 2 copies of this in your hand, all of a sudden one of them's just dead. Well, not dead, but certainly much worse. 2, it assumes that they both have one in their deck at the time and valuable, but odds are they will have one. I don't know. Metamorpho's not a bad guy. Okay. One of the Outsiders, also been in the Justice League from time to time. Interesting. Wait, are the Outsiders the things that are like the Celestials, essentially? Like they're extra dimensional beings or higher dimensional beings or something like that? Or is that something else? Dr. Fate. Oh, it's a team. Okay. This seems pretty good. I like tutors. Anton Arc. I don't know who this guy is, but he looks awesome. He gets +1/+1 for each friendly recruit KO'd this game. Okay. Okay. I mean, we've already seen a number of things that are either just kill a dude or reduce their attack to 0. So, like, it's entirely possible. Wham! I slam this guy. He's a 35-35. And it's just, he evaporates, but still. Metamorpho, Geoforce, Katana, Grace, Black Lightning, and some other people. Interesting. Who are there, like... Are they... I'm going to compare it to, like, Guardians of the Galaxy. Are they supposed to be intergalactic sort of thing? Are they primarily on Earth? Or are they, like, they just happen to be on Earth because, you know, shit happens on Earth, but... Like, what is their role within everything? Mostly space stuff? Okay. Bane's Venom. I think the craziest thing about Bane, and I understand that, okay, it's Venom and all this stuff, but, like, look at how big that guy... Bane is, like, makes Andre the Giant look small. It's always been insane. It's one thing to have this guy be roided out on, you know, comic book roids, but, like, this guy is just inhuman proportions. Anton Arcane is Swamp Thing villain mostly. I could see that. Alright, so this could work in the Harley deck. This is a big body. We saw this earlier, but I do... This is actually hilarious. For the record, Superman is flinging a dude. There's a guy in this picture. That's a person. There have been a lot of things where Superman has lately just been either launching people, like uppercutting them, or carrying them into the stratosphere. And there was a comic book for the Michael Bay Transformers movies that was supposed to be either a prequel to the first one or in between the first and the second one, where Starscream kidnaps somebody important. Like, I forget where it was a political leader or a general or something that was, like, feeding the Decepticons information. So he kidnaps them against their will, even though they were, like, choosing to work with the Decepticons, and then tries to fly them to the Decepticon base on, like, Mars. And as soon as they exit the atmosphere, they're like, oh yeah, humans can't do that, because guess what? The guy exploded all over the inside of the cockpit. Whoops. That's basically what Superman just did to that guy. Captain Cold. This is kind of cool, but it's gold. Crypto. The good boy. I always find it weird how Superman can punch people through walls and somehow those punches aren't strong enough to turn their insides into putty. Apparently, yeah, whenever you see somebody get knocked through a wall, if it's drywall, okay. If it's even a wood wall, I could see that happening, like somebody getting hit so hard. And even, but like that's actually, like the amount of force required to do that is actually insane. And you can guarantee that the person had to have cracked some ribs or other bones, either hitting the wall, the concussion force, whatever. But when Superman knocks somebody through a brick wall, no, that person should be paced. If they are not a metahuman, a superhuman, a demon or something, they should get liquefied. I'm sure, I wonder if Mythbusters did an episode on that or something. They had to have, right? Like, how much concussive force is required to knock your average human through a brick wall, but not kill them? I can promise you no normal human being is getting up and even doing the running away scared thing. If they get up at all, I'd be impressed. Man-Bat. We actually have gotten a wide variety of cards. I don't know how many cards are in the first set. Like when someone's falling from a great height and the hero catches them while flying upward. Yeah, or they fell off a building and they're just on the even in the hero. Like, okay, the hero's Superman. Superman won't get hurt. But guess what? That person just fell 70 stories into your arms. You just cleanly sectioned them into 3 pieces, is what happened. Also, the knockback alone, if someone punches you and it sends you flying instead of crumpling, I don't know how much force they use, but it would be enough to kill most people. Yeah. I mean, you can see it if you watch, like, say, MMA or something, and somebody gets hit properly being, like, under the right circumstances, they will get lifted off their feet or thrown, kind of thing. Depending on, like, the way certain things, like the physics works out. Not like in movies where it's you hit them and they fly across the room. Like, that's not going to happen. But for you to lift somebody and knock them through a wall like that, like, if they're not up against the wall, like, up against the wall, I could see you pushing them through the wall. But, like, you hitting them so hard that they fly backwards, like, yeah, you should be caving in their sternum, kind of thing. It doesn't take long to reach terminal velocity. Someone being caught versus them falling the rest of the way probably doesn't make any difference. It has to be... I could see a flying superhero, like... Obviously, it's movies and comics, so you gotta throw a lot of stuff out the window to begin with, but... I guess they're... Ooh, we get another one. Commissioner Gordon. Summon a squad car? Okay, why... Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, this is the one you were talking about that was bad. Alright, let's see what hero we get. Whoop, wrong thing. 11 more packs to go, Chad. I almost clicked done, and then we wouldn't have been able to see it. Scarecrow. That feels like a lot of hoops to jump through, but potentially a big payoff. Mordrew? Who the hell is this? It has to be a Zatanna bad guy, right? Because this kind of looks like Zatanna. I don't know who this is. Sacrifice your crew with 5 or more. Read a magical spell. So he will kill himself, I assume, if you don't have something to feed him. Black Adam. After you deploy a crew with 5 or more, charge Black Adam. This is interesting. It feels like that's a lot of hoops. I don't know how... We'll have to see how many things have 5 or more. Alright, Atona, thanks for hanging out. Count Vertigo? No idea. The Signal? Obviously Batman related. Embrace Madness. There's my girl, Dr. Harleen. This is kind of a cool... Okay, so I will say one thing right now. This game has already impressed me with the quantity of effects that are really embracing the digital format. You can't do this in a physical game. I mean, there's probably some weird, clunky way to make it work, but, like, I like this sort of thing. It may be terrible. I'm also curious if you're required to discard the card, or you could just, if this is your last card, just play it, and this is not a cost. It doesn't explicitly say it's a cost, but, you know, it always depends on the wording. But regardless, I love that these, and we've seen a whole bunch of these effects. I'm getting more and more hype for this game, Chad. I'm not going to lie. Oh, there's Harley. After you play an Anarchy card, Harley gets +2 this turn and Adrenaline Flurry. She seems like she's going to be pretty good. Jimmy Olsen. Black Lightning and Indoctrinate. This seems really good, but, like, this almost feels like a win more. The reason it feels like a win more is if you start the turn with that in play, the game is just over, right? But if you started the turn with that in play, you probably were going to win anyway, because that means your opponent had no way to deal with arbitrary big thing. Maybe? I don't know. I really thought to say cosmic stuff for a second, which was way funnier in my head. Give a friendly recruit firepower +1. See, like, this is kind of cool, getting the resource back. This is one of the Green Lantern effects I was talking about. If you have a recruit with shield, draw a card. I'm assuming this is somehow a Superman bad guy because it has the whole shield thing. But I have no idea who this guy is. He looks like a Popeye villain. Okay, so here's the digital embracing that I hate. I hate these sort of cards. These make me very unhappy every time I see them. It is what it is. There was going to be something like this. The thing is that a lot of those cards could end up being gold. Which means that you've just hosed yourself because you'll only play like one card a turn. The Batmobile. Friendly leader, hunter, and evade. If they are a tactics leader, give them +2. I don't know what a tactics leader is. I'm assuming that's blue. For each oh, this is... Oh, this actually is kind of nuts. This is kind of nuts. So Hunter allows you to bypass defensive effects. Obviously, hidden and protected characters. Protected is there's a guy in front of them blocking for them. So if you do this... Sorry, trying to fix something on OBS real quick. I don't know why that wasn't showing. I know why, actually. So, we talked about all the gadgets. So, like, you're playing Batman, and Batman gives you gadgets, and there's obviously other characters that give you gadgets. The gadgets are free, so you're going to play a ton of gadgets. They all seem valuable. So, you play a ton of them, and then it's just, I Batmobile and snipe your dude, and there's basically no way to stop it. This is kind of like Reverse Flash, where it just feels like that's going to end a ton of games. Like, a ton of games. Ooh, we get another hero. Oh, Swamp Thing? Martian Manhunter. And my man is ripped. Every time I've seen Martian Manhunter prior to this, he looked, not skinny, but like... He didn't look like Schwarzenegger painted green. So he has Aura and Hunter deploy... Martian Manhunter gets +2/+2 for each other friendly recruit with deploy. So, wait, what? This guy seems really good, because I'm going to play a ton of 187 creatures, and then play the come into play Lord. Get wrecked, nerds. Embrace Madness, alright. Joker Toxin. Oh my god, Magnet, literally Magic the Gathering Madness. I can't wait to play this. I don't know if I'm, like, gonna play Joker. I really want to play Harley, but... Doomsday! This is a guy I recognize. I know that guy. After an enemy leader is KO'd, charge Doomsday twice. He does have extra health, notably. I'm not a huge fan of this guy in particular, but I don't know. We'll see. Well, you're only going to get that bonus charge once. Admittedly, you probably only need it once. Bat Signal. Atrocitus. After any character is dealt damage, it gets +1 attack. Okay, this seems pretty cool. It's bad. Like, this feeds in with a late game card because it's a gold. So you slam it. It's like, all right, there's 2 to 3 guys on the board on each side. Just run them all in. And then, all right, Atrocitus is the only thing left, and he's enormous. Stop me. Who the hell is this guy? If you have a magical spell in your hand, create and play Pyromancy. Seems pretty good. Obviously a Zatanna / Constantine character. Another Gordon. Alright, we got a bunch of dupes there. I feel like we got a lot of cards that we only have one copy of, but maybe I wasn't paying as much attention. Another Atrocitus, nice. Throne of Atlantis. Seems okay. So for anybody who's unaware, the deck build, well, not deck builder, but card library has been available for some time now. Oh, this is pretty cool. This immediately activates Adrenaline. That's actually really important. That's actually really important. Chat, I'm definitely building Harley. I'm definitely building Harley. The Lasso of Truth. It's kind of cool. I don't mind that effect. Grid? That's got to be a bad guy, right? I have no idea who that is. Or who they have to be a Superman bad guy. Nobody else is like that high tech, right? Maybe a Green Lantern bad guy? Or maybe for that group Atono was talking about? Oh, this guy's cool. So you can play with this in the tutorial, I think. Maybe it was in the first comic book. But this is a good example of, like, okay, I play this turn 2, so I have 2 bronze. I play this guy, I play another Green Lantern. A lot of the Green Lanterns say, when you play this, you may spend a bronze or whatever. If you do something else. Usually buff the guy and then buff a guy in your hand. So it's like, play this guy, play the other Lantern, refund the bronze, spend the bronze, get the effect. It's just like, all right, that's a cool turn. Obviously has an enormous target painted on his back, but still good. Potentially. It feels good. The culling. This sort of effect was going to be there. Book of Destiny. That's kind of cool. Especially because we had something earlier where it's like, for every spell you've played. This guy seems pretty cool. I don't know who the hell he is. Or why he has, like, Spider Hood. This is interesting. That she has, like... It's cool because of the hidden. It allows you to make sure that it goes off when you want it to, not just immediately. Yeah, I have no idea who this guy is, but apparently he was a Justice League bad guy. I'm assuming he's a bad guy. You got Star Labs, Favor of the Gods, draw a card, then give a random recruit in your hand. This I actually kind of like, even though it's random, and I hate the word random, it is kind of cool because you can set it up so that it targets a specific thing. How many packs have I opened? Well, I started with 33, but every time we got a leader pack like this, you get 2 more. So we're probably somewhere around 40. Bane. After you damage the leader, is attacking. Exhaust them and permanently increase it. Wow. That seems kind of cool. This actually seems kind of cool. He might be a little too tiny, ironically enough, but... The Parasite, Peacemaker, Laugh It Up, that's important. And the Joker. Joker gets +2 attack this turn and fires 4 shots to deal 1 at random enemies. If you have an Arkham inmate, charge the Joker. That's kind of cool. So as long as you have other Arkham inmates, you can spam Joker shots. Well, maybe not spam, but... Fastus. I didn't realize it was an epic. Bruce Wayne. Trickster. Apparently a Flash bad guy. A bonking he will go. That doesn't. It's a weird. It looks like a gavel more than a hammer. I mean, it is, but you get what I mean. After you discard a card, deal 3 damage to a random enemy. Yeah, this is really good. Or seems really good. So here's the question. If I have Trickster, and let's say we have like 3-4 cards in hand, and then I play Laugh It Up, which is the one that discards your whole hand, does this see every card that's discarded, or is it just seeing one discard with all the cards? Because if it's the former, that could be busted. If it's the latter, that's the more likely case. It's still pretty decent. It'll still get played. So it has to be an action, so I don't think that will key off of all the enters play things where it's like deploy a guy, give it shield in the Superman setup. If that's true, we'll have to see. That does seem like a decent go tall strategy because it's going to refill and replace, so you're not losing card advantage if they offer. Wayne Tech Engineer, create a gadget. See, the problem with this is its start, so if you're going second, it's entirely possible this thing just dies. If you're going first, you could play this on turn 1 and you're basically guaranteed to get it, unless your opponent puts a lot of effort into removing it. Last 2 packs, chat. Nightmare Nurse. This is clearly Constantine and Zatanna. Swamp Thing and... Is that Dead Man? Does anybody know? Heal 2 from each of your other characters. I kind of like this. It's an immediate... It's not a deploy, so like you can... Your guys from last turn... Well, you could do that anyway. I was going to say you get to run in and then heal, but you could have done that anyway. And it actually could be worse than a deploy because then if your guy took damage previously and you needed to heal it now, you can't run it in, like heal it, then run it in. You just have to run it in and let it die. But still, you get a pretty immediate effect, so still relevant. All right, chat, last one, last pack. Metatron. Or Metron. I don't know how I feel about this guy. It could be interesting in that, like, the spellcaster build, maybe. Because that he does have a big enough butt that I could see him coming down even late in the game and surviving. You maybe play him and then play a blocker in front, you draw some cards, and then you go off the next turn. But I don't know what the going off looks like yet. And that's the thing. Like, I don't know what the payoff is for all these spells other than just getting free cards. But if you can't wombo somebody, then this might be too late in the game to matter. I don't know. We'll see. And like I said, if you compare it to, say, any of the traditional card games or the more traditional mana curve, if a card was a 2/10 or 6 that said at the start of your turn draw 2 cards, that probably gets played depending on how combat works in the game. Like if it's Magic the Gathering, maybe. If it's the WoW TCG, possibly not, because they could just run around it. And then by the time you draw enough cards to like, and then have enough time to actually play those cards and all that stuff, we'll have to see. So chat, that took a while because there were a lot of packs, there was a lot of stuff going on. I have some decks to build. I don't know why they give you 2 copies of every deck, because you can just make a new one. But we now have a lot more. You originally only start with Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Batman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn, I think. I think there were 6. But regardless, there's a lot of things, and I really want to explore the Harley Quinn build. I'm not sure who she's going to get paired with. I really want to look at Aquaman, because I think that's going to be fun. There's a lot of things here that I'm excited to dive into. I'm legitimately excited about playing this game. But that's going to do it for now. Just because the pack opening took so long, I'll pull this down, put it on YouTube if you missed any part of it. If you're watching this on YouTube, likes and subscribes. Hopefully I'll remember to add that to the video, but you can check the details for the Twitch stream and my Discord and all that stuff in the description. I'm going to shut off the stream for a little while, and we'll be back in maybe about a half hour, 45 minutes for some Phobies action. But that's going to do it for now. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And Black Lives Matter.